Hey guys, Paul from Coding After 30, and in this video we're going to talk about how to get started in web development if you're a complete beginner. I mean, there's so many different ways you could do that, and it's very easy to fall into a trap of what I call collecting courses, being like a course collector. You just buy every possible course in Udemy that you can, and you never, maybe you watch like 10-15% of the course and you never finish it because you think the other course is going to be better, and you keep jumping from one course to another course to another course. So here's my recommendation for you if you're a complete beginner. You don't have to take it, this could be my opinion, but I've made a lot of mistakes in my study, and I realized that kind of slimming down your approach, kind of making everything more streamlined, is more important than doing as much as possible. So my recommendation to you, and this is for you if you're looking to get into web development, is to actually invest on Udemy into 3 courses only. Like, set that as the limit, because if you don't, you're going to keep buying courses and keep buying courses. The most important part is, get 3 courses, and I'll tell you what they should be, and start. And whatever you have a need, or like a niche, like, oh, I gotta get a new course. Oh my God, like, don't do it. Don't get a new course. Stick to the courses you have. So we're going to start with the basics. Get a course on HTML and CSS. There's plenty of great courses. If you buy a course in Udemy, the 2 things I'll tell you, by the way, is just make sure the course is either from this current year or, and if you can't find one from this current year, get a course from last year. But don't go any farther than that. Like, ultimately, most of your courses should be at least updated in 2019. And also check for user reviews and make sure that the course that you're getting has like bajillion good, 4.5, 5-star reviews, because that's super important. You want a course that a lot of people were happy with. So with that being said, yeah, get a course on HTML and CSS. Second course you should get is a course in JavaScript, which is going to teach you how to use vanilla JavaScript from the basics to working with the DOM. JavaScript does a lot of things, but most of the people know it for, creating actions on your website. Like if you click a button, it opens up a menu. If you, click on a picture, it makes the picture bigger. That's mostly done with JavaScript. And the third course you should get is get a course on the JavaScript framework. There's a bunch of different ones, Angular, React, Vue.js. I work with React, and that's usually probably what I'm going to recommend for you guys. And so the 3 courses you should have is 1 course on HTML and CSS, the second course on vanilla JavaScript, and a third course should be some sort of framework. And once you get those courses, make a schedule and commit to going through that course. So if I were to give you a 3-month plan of what you should do, the first 2 months, I would basically tell you, spend all the time on those 3 courses, do all the projects, do all the tutorials, take it as many times as you can, really become familiar with what you have learned. And then the final month out of that 3-month period, I would tell you, build something unique to you, something that you'd be proud to show in your portfolio. And when I say build something, I don't mean like, oh look, I made a little website that has 1 button. No, try to make a complete, application that solves some sort of problem that you have in your life. For instance, I'm currently working for myself on a journaling app, just because like that's something I'm into, and I want to have a daily routine where I have a like a 30-day focus, and I'm able to journal about it like easily. So that's something I'm doing on the personal project. But even though I'm making that project for myself, I'm building it in a way where it would be able to handle a lot of different users. Each user will be able to have their own journal that they could have, and also it's going to have an ability for other users of the platform to communicate together in a forum like place, or like kind of like a Facebook style, like phase where they could just talk about the things they're doing, and they're able to keep their part of the app, their journal, private, but still have the area for where the community could talk to each other. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but the point is I'm making an app not just for myself. I am solving a problem that I have, but I'm also making in mind that if I were to scale it or try to get other users, it will handle that. So with that being said, I don't get too far into what I'm doing, because this is literally about you getting a good start in learning to code. just make a promise for me that you're only going to do 3 courses, and most of the free time outside of that you're going to spend on building your own projects. So in 3 months, what should your outcome be? Number 1, you should know the basics of HTML and CSS. Number 2, you should be familiar with JavaScript. And number 3, you should be able to understand what React is and be able to make basic apps using React. And with that being said, let me tell you this: no matter how long you're going to program or code or study, there's still going to be a lot of things you don't know. That's perfectly normal. The one tip I would give you is that you should know the things you don't know and be able to look them up on Google or other places that you need to go online. So the point is, like, I still get confused using event listeners in JavaScript, but I know exactly what event I'm looking for, and it's very easy for me to go like on MDN or Google and look it up, and it's very quick, very easy, and I'm able to get to work. So the point is, you don't have to know everything from scratch, but you do need to be able to know what you don't know, or at least be good enough to understand, it's like, hey, something's missing here, let me go on Google. Google is your friend. YouTube is your friend, and look it up and find it. So with that being said, quick review: don't put too much on your plate. Get 3 courses. First course should be HTML and CSS. Second course should be vanilla JavaScript or basic JavaScript, and third course should be some sort of framework. I chose React. For the first 2 months, focus on completing all those courses, doing all the tutorials, really understand what you're doing. If you get stuck in a tutorial or you want to do further reading, use Google, search it online, don't buy another course. Number 3, the last month, build a decent sized project. I mean, a month, that's 4 weeks. If you should be putting, by the way, when you're studying, I'm gonna give you this right now, 2 hours and a half is the minimum that you should be spending a day. A lot of people say, oh, I only have an hour. No, find time and put in the work. 1 hour, I've done that for a long time. You're not gonna get massive results. And when it's the weekend, I put chunks of like 4, 6, 7, 8 hours. I've known to like sit in front of my computer for 10 hours when I can't, but during the week, 2.5 hours should be your minimum. Okay, so with that being said, if you have 2.5 hours minimum for the last month of building a project, you should be able to have enough time to complete something of value. So with that being said, I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understand the reason behind why I'm telling you not to fall into the trap of getting too many courses, because you're going to get paralyzed by course overload. Like, I probably have 100 courses on Udemy, and like majority of them I didn't take. Like, my goal for 2020 is actually go through and finish all the goddamn courses that I started. And I mean, relevant courses in what I'm doing right now, by the way. Don't do like a random course. I'm going to learn Java because it's just cool. No, like if you're a web developer, stick to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and web development related technologies. So I can't stress that enough. You need to put in the time. Coding is hard. You need to have the basic knowledge. With this 3-month plan, you're going to get a pretty good foundation of fundamentals, and after that you'll have enough basic knowledge to be able to start building your own projects, start building pieces for your portfolio. And if you get stuck, you're going to be smart enough to know where to find things and look things up. And literally after this 3 months period, I would just focus on building your own projects, and when getting stuck, only then looking up something on YouTube, that maybe getting specific tutorial for a specific technology you're trying to use, but mostly build your portfolio. And when you get to that 3-month mark, if you were to get like a course, I would recommend the 4th and 5th course, not so much JavaScript, React, or HTML. I would actually pick a course on interview prep and what you need to do to pass an interview when looking for a job. So my goal for you here is to be honest, tell you the real truth about learning to code, learning to program, breaking your field. It's not easy, it's really hard. The reason for this YouTube channel is, by the way, I'll be right out for you, is to get my face out there, to let people know I'm a developer. So if someone looks up my name, let's say, when they're Googling me, they'll see my YouTube channel, they see I have some sort of reputation. You really have to put yourself out there and, make a brand, and if you can't get hired, you have to be able to find your own clients. So that way it's like you kind of hedging your bets. Like, oh, I can't get hired, well, then I'm going to start my own business, and whatever that is. For me, it's web development. You know, as much as I'm doing this YouTube channel to build reputation, stuff like that, ultimately at the end of the day, eventually I want to have enough, you know, reputation that I'm having people coming up to me and ask me, you know, for work. Anyway, with that being said, I don't want to keep this video too long. We talked a lot about it. There's one more important thing I wanted to tell you. I forgot what it is. So come back next time. Oh yes, I'm gonna start doing some basic and simple tutorials as well. Just kind of walk through my process of how I do things and how I make mistakes and get stuck. Because the truth is, a lot of people that do code on YouTube, they don't just, you know, present the information willy-nilly. They've researched it. They spent 2 weeks, you know, a week, you know, 10 hours, whatever it is, to prepare the content for the video. And when they record the video, they edit it, they do all the stuff. So it does look like they're just a master of what they're doing. But the truth is, that's not how it is in real life. I follow this guy, Wes Boss. He's an amazing guy, does a lot of JavaScript stuff. I highly recommend. He has a great free course, 30 days of JavaScript for free on his website. Phenomenal, amazing, definitely check it out. But I watch him, like when he does a lot, like some of the coding stuff, he'll make mistakes. You know, he's a pro. You know, he'll make mistakes and be like, oh yeah, okay, and then he'll go back and fix it. So the truth is, you know, when you watch people on YouTube doing tutorials, unless it's like a live stream, it's a very polished, you know, product, and it's very easy to get the impression that they know what they're doing. Like I could also do that, and I'm pretty sure on my YouTube videos, like I'm going to spend some time, like when I'm doing tutorials, and make sure that I do my best to present the information for you guys, well researched, without too many mistakes. But I'm sure if I do live coding, you'll see that I'm also not perfect and make mistakes. So that's just something for you guys to keep in mind when you're watching tutorials. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you like and enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for your support. It really means a lot to me. I know I'm a new channel on YouTube. I do this when I can, but I'm here to stay. I'm going to keep going because I think there's a lot of people, at least for me, and if you're younger, that's perfectly fine. I'm still going to give you a lot of good tips, but there's a lot of people in their 30s and even 40s who are looking to break into a new career, and I want to make sure that you have an honest, you know, kind of representation of what that is. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later, and happy coding.